Hey guys, Probable1701 here, and today we're going to talk about growing up as a Doctor Who fan in the United States. I was born in the early 80s, and there wasn't a whole lot of Doctor Who fans here. It's very much a niche thing. The only reason I was introduced to it is because one of the people who kind of helped raise me was one of my uncles, kind of the dad figure in my life, and he was really into sci-fi stuff. He liked Doctor Who and Star Trek and Star Wars, and then in the 90s Babylon 5, and and of course Battlestar, the old Battlestar Galactica, the better Battlestar Galactica by a country mile is the original one. And because of that, I grew up watching these shows, and I fell in love with them as well. I love Star Trek, I love Star Wars, I love Babylon 5, the original Galactica, and obviously I love Doctor Who. But it wasn't something like my friends were very familiar with. Again, it was never as popular here as like Star Trek or Star Wars. And the main way to have access to it was that it was shown at very random times on our public broadcasting station, what we call PBS. And then you could catch, just different episodes whenever you could catch them. My earliest memories are probably seeing Inferno and The Ark in Space, two of my favorite stories. But I know I saw The Five Doctors like a million times. For some reason, that was a popular one to air. They did The Five Doctors a lot, which was my first introduction to the First Doctor and the Second Doctor. And so Richard Hurndall was my first Doctor. Probably one of the reasons why I'm very partial to Richard Hurndall as the Doctor. I really like his performance in The Five Doctors. And again, I think that was the first story I saw Troughton in, and I really liked Troughton in it. I also saw the War Games, I know, because I specifically, whether I saw all of the War Games or just part of the War Games, I'm not sure, but I remember the final episode especially because I remember the Doctor spinning in the background. Sometimes when you see something that you only saw as a kid, it's just that one little scene that really sticks in your head, and you're like, I know I saw that because I remember that. It's the same way I remember I saw Time in the Ronnie. I remember the regeneration specifically, although my mental picture of it was way better than the actual thing. But I remember seeing that story as a kid and seeing him being flipped over and his face changing. So I saw Time as the Ronnie as a kid. I don't think I saw much of season 26 because I always remembered McCoy in his lighter outfit, but I remember seeing Remembrance as well as a kid. I'm not sure how much of his stuff I saw. I didn't see much of Collins, but I know I must have saw some of it because I know him from his outfit. I remember Ark of Infinity as a kid, which could be one of the reasons why I have such an affinity for Ark of Infinity. I really actually like that story. There's several of Tom Baker's I saw, just different ones. I remember seeing Genesis. I actually really remember the Armageddon Factor because I remember the Doctor being shrunk down and running around and hiding in K9. So there are definitely those key episodes. Probably about 8 to 10 of them I specifically remember from my 80s childhood. I remember being really excited about the TV movie coming out, and none of my friends quite knew why I was so fired up excited. Again, we got the TV movie a few months after you did in the UK. I believe y'all got it in May of '96, because it's right around when John Pertwee passed away, and we got it in August or September, I believe, maybe October. I think it was August or September. We got it a few months later. And they really marketed it. There were lots of commercials for it on Fox. They really, really pushed it. And I was all fired up and excited. Yeah, it's Doctor Who, but with cool, awesome, big budget special effects. To a teenager. Definitely compared to original Doctor Who. The effects were way better than anything I'd ever seen Doctor Who do. And I actually do enjoy the TV movie despite its flaws. And again, kind of hoping more would come from that and more never did. I didn't really know about it being a backdoor pilot. I kind of hoped they'd do more movies of it, and they never did. Again, just the internet then in '96 was nowhere what it is now. And then Doctor Who kind of faded away again. It really was the modern series which made it popular here in the States. I think it was always a niche thing here in America until the modern series kind of made it mainstream for a while. Especially with Tennant and Smith's run and the very beginning of the Capaldi run. The Capaldi run's really where things kind of went downhill and it went back to kind of being a niche thing. But there was a time, well, I can actually remember being really excited from the announcement. I remember reading somewhere about Doctor Who coming back with some guy named Eccleston I'd never heard of playing the role. But I was excited. I love Doctor Who. Again, we got it a few months after y'all. That was actually the case, even with the modern series, for pretty much all of the Russell T Davies era. We would get it months behind. We never got the Christmas specials on Christmas at the time. The Christmas special would always be lumped in at the beginning of the next series. It would basically be the first episode of the next series. Like Christmas Invasion was basically episode 1 of series 2, etc., etc., etc. it wasn't until Matt Smith became the Doctor that where we really started getting them right around the same time as you guys. I actually remember them advertising A Christmas Carol, because it actually advertises this year, Christmas won't be late. And I think that was the first one we got probably on time. Although I think End of Time only was like a week behind. I think End of Time might have been a week behind y'all, if I remember correctly. For people in the UK, I shouldn't say y'all. I know people who watch my channel are from all over. I was chatting with someone from New Zealand the other day. That was neat. But we were about, I think, a week behind the UK. And I think actually Series 5 was only like a week behind the UK. And I think after that it was pretty much the same time. Because that's really I think where Doctor Who was at its peak was right after Tennant and right during Matt Smith's run. Everything leading up to the 50th. Doctor Who was just huge here. I used to get dates because of Doctor Who with pretty attractive girls. I was actually quite impressed. The first date I went on with a girl, we went and saw Deep Breath in theater together. That was pretty cool. And I dated her for over a year. Another girl that I was friends with, we were friends, but we lived like an hour and a half apart. She was in college at the time, texted me up one time. It's like, I started watching Doctor Who. I love the Ninth Doctor, la 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 la. And, you know, a few days later, she's like, well, you need to come up here and see me. And, you know, we ended up dating for a few months. So it really was mainstream for a while, and I was excited because I liked Eccleston. I was in love with Tennant for the longest time. Man, was I a Tennant fanboy for a long, long, long time. He was my solid number 2 for a long, long time. I really enjoyed his era. The writing was so good. I liked Smith. Took me a second to adjust to him, but I was enjoying his era for the most part. It's just, again, with the Capaldi, things kind of started dying back down. You kind of saw, you know, all the merchandise shrinking, because there was, for a while there, I saw Doctor Who merchandise everywhere. I'd see Doctor Who at Walmart. I'd see Books A Million and Borders would have, which is bookstores, and then Barnes & Noble, you know, they'd all have their Doctor Who sections. They were huge. And you can still get that kind of Doctor Who merchandise, but it's on a much smaller scale. They don't have their just dedicated sections anymore. Which brings me to modern times. For me, the trickiest part of being a Doctor Who fan in the States now is just I like importing so much. And it's such a nightmare. Because for a while there, because of the pandemic, Amazon UK wouldn't even ship to the States, so you'd have to go with someone like Zavvi. And I like Zavvi, but God, I hate ordering from Zavvi. To their credit, I've never had anything arrive damaged from them. Like, they always pack their stuff really well for me personally. I hear horror stories, but mine have always arrived immaculate. But the actual shipping, I don't like how they ship, because they only give you one shipping option, and it doesn't include a tracking number. It's cheap shipping, but I'm one of those people, I like a tracking number. If I'm waiting for something to come all the way from Britain, I want to know where the hell it's at all times. And when I don't have a tracking number and I spend 2 weeks to a month wondering where the heck it's at, I get nervous. Which was apparently right with this Web of Fear Steelbook. I still have not gotten my Web of Fear Steelbook. I have actually canceled it with Zavvi and requested a refund, and I've actually ordered it from Rare Waves, so I have a copy from Rare Waves coming, who also didn't give me a tracking number. Because again, I think they just do that cheap level shipping. I get really frustrated that they don't offer a more express shipping like Amazon UK does. Yes, it'll be more expensive. I don't mind. This is kind of one of the things I like spending my money on. I love Doctor Who. I will pay extra for quality priority shipping that's faster and comes with a tracking number. The problem is, like, Zavvi and other places do not offer that option, and it's extremely frustrating. I get annoyed sometimes when I'll see like a video, like people are getting videos up for like their Evil of the Daleks steelbooks and sets, and there's a part of me that's like, fuck you. Because I wish I had mine. Nothing against them. I just wish I had mine. I ain't waiting for it. You know, I'm still waiting for my Web of Fear Steelbook. And it's like the end of September. I want my Web of Fear Steelbook. I've been waiting a month. Same thing with the Doctor Who, the collection sets. And it's not just the fact that I hate waiting for stuff to get here. It's the longer it's in transit, the more I worry about it getting damaged. These box sets, you know, they can damage so easily that I'm always paranoid if I'm having to wait 2 weeks to 4 weeks for it, that something's going to happen. Especially when you take into the fact that the American Postal Service sucks. I cannot stand it. At least, you know what, I can't say for everywhere in the country. They may be great other places, but where I live, they are awful. It's like they mark fragile. Let's see. That means kickball, right? Yeah, usually kickball, yeah. Have a party with it, you know. Play a few rounds of basketball with it. So that's longer that it's in their hands, and I don't like it in their hands. So it's less the waiting and more that I'm just scared something's going to happen. You know, these steelbooks dent so easily. I had to send my Series 4 steelbook back once because it was messed up. My Series 6 one has a small dent on it, but it's not enough for me to worry about. And that's another thing. If you have to get something replaced, Jesus God, because then you have to take the damaged item, send it all the way back to the UK, which takes forever to get there. And then you have to like take a picture, you know, of your receipt so they can refund you the money back. Like when I sent my Series 4 Steelbook book, I had to pay to send it back, snap a picture of the receipt, have them reimburse me for that, which they did. It was, I believe, with Amazon UK. And then wait for it to get there so they can send me an email saying, we got it. It's such a hassle, such a process. And so I just get frustrated when anything comes in damaged. Like as soon as I notice it's damaged, I'm just like, fuck. Is it damaged enough I want to worry about it? Like my season 24 one has slight, you can barely see it. It's so slight. I didn't even worry about it. But there was that moment of, damn it. But it's so slight, it's not really an issue. I mean, if you see the unboxing video, you can see me point it out, but I managed to pull it back. Again, you can barely see it. And the Series 6 one does bother me a little, but not enough to go through the process. The Series 4 one was bad enough that I had to go through the process. So to me, the hardest part of being a fan now, especially with the internet being what it is, you know, you can pretty much find out information the same time anyone else finds it out, so that's fine. I never feel behind on that. It's just the getting things here, the importing, the waiting, the not being able to get the express shipping. I'm glad Amazon has gotten back to shipping to the States again because they do offer priority shipping, which is much quicker and provides a tracking number. And I don't mind paying the money for that. I don't mind paying the money for that. So I have currently my Evil of the Daleks Standard Edition coming from Zavvi, my Evil of the Daleks Steelbook coming from Amazon UK, my Web of Fear Steelbook coming from Rare Waves, and my Galaxy 4 Steelbook on pre-order from Amazon UK. That's a lot to keep up with. Now I'm just waiting for them to hurry up and announce Season 17 so I can get that ordered as well. So that's just kind of how it was growing up as Doctor Who for me. It was really nice during Tennant's and Smith's run to see it becoming kind of a cultural thing like Game of Thrones would later become. And it's kind of sad that it's not like that anymore and that it kind of went back to being a niche thing during the Capaldi and Whittaker eras. So that's my thoughts on that. If you have any stories you want to share about growing up with Doctor Who, feel free to comment below and let me know what you think of my video. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. We just passed 500 subscribers. I want to thank every single one of you for that. On the way to 1,000 now. I really do want to reach 1,000 subscribers, as that unlocks a lot I can do with the community tab. I really want to be able to post, you know, just post and pictures and stuff like that. Really excited about getting to that milestone when I do. I also have a Patreon if you would like to contribute to what I do, you know, kind of help with some of this importing stuff that I have to pay for. There is a link to that down in the description below. Everyone who joins at any tier level gets a free video request if you're interested. Most importantly, though, stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.